Hello, I'm Mark Blunden and this is the Standards Tech and Science Daily podcast. Coming up, Paris Olympics 2024, Maya swims Seine to prove river cleanliness. But first, what's been described as a game-changer DIY cervical screening test that women can do themselves at home could be rolled out on the NHS. The self-testing kit is part of King's College London's UScreen trial, with health chiefs saying they hope to make it soon widely available.
So the UScreen trial involved sending self-sampling kits to women who were at least 6 months overdue for their cervical screening. And the results were really great. They suggested that 400,000 more women every year could undergo screening if the test is rolled out, which would obviously allow us to pick up a lot more cervical cancer in its early stages.
That's Evening Standard health reporter Daniel Keane.
Cervical cancer screening rates have been dropping in recent years because of the COVID pandemic, a lot of women not coming forward for their test. And naturally, when we don't pick up HPV at an early stage, then it results in more cervical cancer, and that's what doctors have been seeing.
The test works by detecting human papillomavirus, or HPV, a group of often symptomless viruses that can lead to cervical cancer, and it helps fill in treatment gaps for tests normally undertaken in a clinical setting.
Precisely because of how convenient it is. With this test, all you've got to do is do it at home and post it off for free to a lab. So it's really convenient, and really it could engage a lot of women in a process that we need to bring those rates down.
It's part of a new generation of at-home tests to provide clinicians with data in the hope of improving treatment outcomes.
This is really a frontier of medical innovation, and there are so many diagnostics companies that are coming up with different tests that could benefit the NHS. One of them is an at-home heart test that can provide the NHS with results within minutes on cholesterol readings, like a BMI score and heart data. So, that could potentially forecast the likelihood of a heart attack or stroke. If we can enable the NHS to get data from home, then it would just take away so much of the capacity issues that we're having in hospitals and with doctors. And really, this is something we should be looking at doing.
Next, lockdown fitness guru Joe Wicks has described receiving an honorary university degree for his services to public health as an absolute honour. The 38-year-old social media star was awarded the accolade from Loughborough University at a ceremony in recognition of his work promoting health and well-being.
I think the reason I'm here is not because I'm some, groundbreaking scientist or a really super intelligent, sports science student, but I think I'm here because of the impact I've had. And the reason, I think I've had the career I've had is because I only think about one thing. I don't try and change the world. I just try and change one person's life every day.
Loughborough is known for its focus on sport, with Lord Coe and Paula Radcliffe among its alumni. And Wicks had this advice for the current crop of young graduates.
I want to wish you the best of luck in your career, and I've got this one sort of mentality and it's a quote almost that my dad said to me once. He said, "Joe, if you're going to miss the bus, miss it running." And for me, that's really stuck in my head because I always think you've got to have a try. Even if you know it's a really hard goal, you're not going to quite reach it. At least if you have a try, you say, well, look, I tried my best, I ran for it, didn't quite catch that bus.
Wicks, who's also known as the body coach, shot to fame with his PE fitness classes on YouTube, which helped keep the nation and especially youngsters fit during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the mayor of Paris has made a splash. She's kept her promise to swim in the Seine in a bid to show it is clean ahead of the Summer Olympics after considerable previous issues with water quality. Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo took the swim on Wednesday morning along a stretch of the river that passes by the French capital City Hall and Notre Dame Cathedral. Hidalgo was joined for the dip by two officials after pledging in January to highlight the Seine's improved cleanliness ahead of the Olympics opening ceremony on the 26th of July. The multi-million euro clean-up over nearly a decade included building a giant underground water storage basin in central Paris, renovating sewer infrastructure and upgrading wastewater treatment plants, but heavy rains in May caused sewage outflow. Now, research by Nottingham Trent University suggests monkeys that are facially expressive are more likely to have what's described as a tolerant leadership style, but can the same be said for us humans? Analysing the lives of 66 rhesus macaques, scientists found social connections were stronger and more evenly distributed in groups where the dominant male was more expressive. Evolutionary scientists say this suggests having a more diverse range of expressions, which include lip smacking, nose wrinkling, jaw dropping, brow raising and ear flattening, can help monkey leaders communicate better by making clear what their intent is and reducing uncertainty. The findings published in the Royal Society Journal Proceedings B also add to evidence that facial expressions, also a key feature in human communication, have evolutionary roots. Let's go to the ads. Coming up, it's a dinosaur with green bones. Why not hit follow on this podcast in the meantime and give us a rating? Welcome back. A dinosaur going on display at the Natural History Museum in Los Angeles has a very special attribute. The 80-foot long, long-necked, long-tailed herbivore's fossils became a dark olive green that was caused by the mineral selenite during the fossilization process. The beast has been named Natalie with a G due to the gnats swarming around the dig in Utah in 2007. It lived 150 million years ago in the late Jurassic era and looked similar to a diplodocus. Now, visitors will get a chance to experience a giant walk-in uterus where they can learn all there is to know about menstrual health when a Festival of Knowledge opens in Edinburgh in September. It's called The Wandering Womb and was created by PhD student Francesca Hearn-Yates as one of more than 30 exhibits at this year's Royal Society of Edinburgh Curious Festival. Now in its 6th year, the Free Festival will also feature poems composed by a computer, a conversation about feminist cities, and a panel of dinosaur experts discussing the future of paleontology. And finally, temperatures hotter than those forecast for Ibiza are set to sweep London this Friday as sunshine returns to the capital following a mostly gloomy grey couple of weeks. The Met Office forecast central London will reach 31 degrees C with glorious sunshine, making it the hottest day of the year so far and exceeding the current high of 30.3 degrees C recorded at Heathrow in late June. It will also make the capital hotter than Barcelona, which is forecast to reach just 28 degrees C on Friday. You're up to date. Come back at 4 p.m. for the latest news, interviews and analysis from the Standard Podcast here in London, and we'll be back on Thursday at 1 p.m. See you then.